Hello my dear friend, I wish you wisdom. How's everybody doing? I hope that you are doing great. A while ago I received from a dear friend of our online family a really interesting message which I want to address in this video. First of all, thank you all for taking the time to watch my channel, to write me messages or comments. I really appreciate them. So here is the part of the message that I want to address. S says, sometimes consider a detailed video of your life, how and when you decided to go on this path, as well as how and why Bardon's works influence and continue to influence your life. So let's begin, shall we? I was born, by the way, if you don't know, my name is Nicole. So I was born in an average family in Romania. When I was about 8 years old, I just got terrible nightmares. And in one particular night, I even got out of the house, but I don't remember how. And nobody knows. I just remember that I was in front of my neighbor's door and I was asking them to get me to my best friend at that time. I don't remember what happened that night. I was in a sort of trance, maybe sleepwalking. And after that incident, many nights in a row, I used to just wake up screaming, terrifying my parents. I had some really weird dreams, and all the time that I had these experiences, I just wanted to never wake up again. So then after that incident, my mother just freaked out and we went to our local church. And we explained the situation to the priest, and the priest recited me some psalms, and they worked. I never had those dreams or whatever that was again. And I was really started to be a normal kid and to become happy. So everything was back to normal. But you see, every one of us, at least once in your life, have a strange meeting with the unknown. But unfortunately, when this happens, people will tell you that you are crazy or that you need a doctor or some pills. Although I never spoke with the people around me about my interests, deep down, since I was very young, I knew there must be much more to life. But I learned at a very young age, I learned my lesson to never speak about these matters to anyone, because it's better to figure out yourself. So as I started to grow up, I became passionate about the gaming industry. The fantasy worlds that we find in games always fascinated me. You see, my question was not who I am. My question was from where the imagination is coming from. As a teenager, I started to read books of shadow. I used to read those books just for fun at that time because I didn't take them seriously. In my mind, they were just fantasy books. Later on in life, I forgot about my passion. Life placed me into different situations, family issues, finding a job, uh, functioning in society, basically. But then it came a time when I was doing quite well financially, but I was not fulfilled inside. Back in my mind, there was always this need to find something, but I didn't know what that something was. So here was one day. One day I was walking down the street from work to my home, and I thought that I can't wait to get home to play with my pet, a parrot that I had at that time. And as I was walking, my mind was somehow very still, and I heard as clear as ever, I heard within, "Your pet dies today." And obviously I was shocked. I stopped in the middle of the street and I just brushed that thought because I couldn't believe it. But when I arrived home, my pet died in just a few hours. And I was in a state of shock. And I started to ask myself from where this intuition is coming from. I had all these questions. How is this possible to know a thing like this before it actually happened? But then I remembered that I heard that voice before. But you see, I heard it only when I was at the crossroads in my life, because only in my deepest moments of sadness, only then I listened. Only then I asked for guidance. When I was happy, I just didn't even care. And in that very moment, all my life, till that moment, it felt like I was sleepwalking, doing what everybody else is doing. And since that very day, I went on the journey to find the answers to my questions. So I started to research various materials, books. I got myself into ceremonial magic, and that was for a short period of time. And while I practiced ceremonial magic, it taught me many things, but I knew deep down that I will drop that practice. Then it came a time where I felt lost. I didn't know what to do, and because of that, I started to speak within again. And I asked for help and to be guided towards the path that is meant for me. I wanted to fully understand what I was doing as a practice. I didn't want to recite things like a parrot and just to wait for things to happen. After I asked for help within myself, practically I spoke with myself. Soon enough, the help came. And here's how. Whenever I had in my life these moments when I was not feeling good, I felt down, I just listened to an audiobook called The Master's Sacred Knowledge, A Key to Inner Treasure by Alan Rufus. And that book just brings me back to life, so to speak, always. But in that particular day, I opened my browser, internet browser, and I typed the name of this book incorrectly. And the results of the Google search led me to the book called The Universal Master Key by Franz Bardon. So that's how Franz Bardon came into my life. And he is here to stay. So I knew that my call was answered. As I started to take his practices, as I practiced what was written in the book called Initiation into Hermetic, I felt at home. It was something that I can practice almost anywhere without restriction, and just transforms an individual in a gradual way. And you actually understand as you practice what you are doing and what powers you are using. And your understanding starts to deepen as you go further and further. And that's what I was looking for. But the way this adept, Franz Bardon, came into my life taught me at the same time that if I don't have clarity, I can ask for it. And all of us possess this inner teacher. But we kind of forget. We forget to create a relationship with it. So, with this being said, I want to ask you kindly to read the paragraphs that are now displayed on the screen. These are from the book called Hermetic Alchemy, Science and Practice by Paul Foster Case.